Welcome back to this video guide on how to build a simple COVID test tracking application using Caspio's low-code, no-code platform. In this video, we're going to learn how to set up all of the login screens for both the patients and users so when they log in, they can gain access to all of the functionality. So let's see how we can do that inside our Caspio account. Once you have successfully built all of your tables, we'll need to go to Views and create one view for our patients because we need to be able to make patients active or inactive. If the patient is inactive, I don't want them to be able to log into the application anymore. So let's filter out that inside the view. Let's give this a name, COVID test, filter, active, patients. So that's going to be from the patients table. Let's move that to the right. We're going to hit next. And then in the criteria tab, we're going to drag over the field element and we're going to select the checkbox field, account status, and we want that to be checked. Now what's going to happen is if the patient is active, they're going to be listed inside the view. However, if the patient is inactive, they're not going to be listed inside the view. And we need to use the view to control who's going to be able to log in and who's not going to be able to log in to our application. The next step that we need to do is set up our authentications. Click New. So to begin, I need to select my data source. Let's start with the user table. I need to build my login screen on top of this table because anybody inside that table with the credentials is going to be able to log in to our application. You can use Express for your setup option. I'm going to use Custom. The next thing that we need to select is how do we want to validate the person that's logging into our application. If you choose the top radio button, now we're looking at our data source, which is the table up here. Anybody within that table is going to be able to log into the application. If you go with the second radio button, now we're bypassing or ignoring the table, and you're allowing your users to log in with their social media account, either their Gmail account, Twitter, or OpenID. The third radio button is a combination of both. Now the user can log in with the information from the table, or they can choose to log in with social media. And the final radio button that we have is SAML for single sign-on. So if your organization already has the credentials stored inside an IDP like Microsoft Active Directory or Okta, you can connect Caspio to that IDP to seamlessly log into your Caspio applications with those existing credentials. In my video guide, we're going to select the top radio button here, which is the recommended data source. My two login fields are email and password. I'm just going to rename my label to say email. I think it's a little bit more clear. You also have other elements that you can add to your login screen, including additional authentication fields, or you can add HTML blocks. HTML blocks are helpful because you can create headings. So here I can say user login, or you can call it admin login. It's up to you. You can highlight the text. Maybe you want to make the text bold, have it appear slightly bigger. That's also something else that you can do. You can add another HTML block, and you can move that second HTML block underneath the password field. And very common is to see something like this, forgot password, with a question mark. You can highlight the text. You can turn that into a link, and then just provide the destination web page. So when people click on that link, the users are redirected to that web page where they can reset their own password via email, and they can once again log into the application. Once you're done making all of your configurations, you can click on Create, and let's give this a name, COVID Test User Login. So there's my very first authentication. Now let's set up our second one for our patients. Click New. My data source is going to be the view that's filtering active patients because I only want active patients to be able to log in. Once again, I'll use Custom, Recommended. I'll rename my label to say email. And I'll add my two HTML blocks. One at the top that's going to read patient login, highlight, bold, and heading 2, so it's a little bit bigger. And we'll add one more HTML block for our password link. So forgot password, question mark, highlight, and then just provide the destination URL. And at the very bottom, click on Create. COVID test patient login. Now we have our two login screens created for both the patients and admin level users. Thanks for watching part 3, and I hope to see you in part 4, where we learn how to build all the functionality for our application. I'll see you there.